Hello, welcome to another Scrum chat room. And the topic for today, we are going to be talking about the role of a Scrum Master, with focus on the role of the Scrum Master in a safe environment, which means that we're also going to talk more on the collaboration between the Scrum Master and the release train engineer. And also, I'm going to touch bit on how to actually leverage your understanding of the role of the Scrum Master to grow in your career as a Scrum Master. So, without wasting much time, I'm going to spend about 15 minutes or so giving you the in depth of or more deeper understanding of what a Scrum Master should expect, or if you are a Scrum Master within your own environment and you're not yet considering all of these, then it's something for you to kind of look into or reconsider the value you're creating in your own organization. And for those who are not yet in the job market, this is also going to be more like an opening for you to actually understand what you should expect in case you ever get yourself in an interview where they want you to present what you think your role as a Scrum Master is. So let me know where you're joining in from. Drop a comment, and we're also going to have a lot of time at the end of the day to answer a lot of questions about what your expectation as a Scrum Master is. Also answer questions about what's are some of the expectation you have in Scrum. So get ready with your questions. I'm going to take time to answer the question, but before we go to answering the question, let's just take some time now and learn. All right. So, what's the role of a Scrum Master? It's a very important topic, and the reason why it's a very important topic for us to to discuss today, because it guides you on what to study and what kind of knowledge to go after. Now, the reason why I decided to talk about the role of a Scrum Master today is mainly because many people that are pursuing a career in Scrum kind of get in from a wrong angle. So many people actually have come to or were informed that it's just for you to go online, get a certification, then start watching a couple of videos and doing question and answer, then you are going to be good. And they did that, it didn't work for them. And then they look for someone that could help them. And they're looking for someone that will help them repeat the same mistake that they are repeating. So they keep seeing themselves in a circle that they're going round and round. And like, I've done everything I can, and then there is nothing that is working. All right, we're going to clarify that. And how do we solve that problem? We solve that problem by you understanding what your role as a Scrum Master is. Now, if you look at a Scrum guide, right, or if you are actually taking a safe certification or so, you realize that when they talk about the role of a Scrum Master, they talk about how a Scrum Master can help a Scrum team to facilitate event and remove impediment. Okay, perfect. But then what the main thing a Scrum Master should be doing, to my own honest opinion, with all due respect to what is already there, is that they underplay on the key aspect that the Scrum Master should focus on. So when many people go into the field, they face kind of challenges. What is that key role? The role of a Scrum Master is to help a team deliver a business value. Now, I definitely pay a lot of consideration on facilitation and removing impediment, but those are secondary roles of a Scrum Master. Now, we were having a lunch and learn in our community of practice today, and we had one of our Scrum Master who have just been in the field for about a couple of weeks. I'm like, okay, I got into this company, I saw this anti-pattern, I saw this anti-pattern, and they're not running events, and I see a lot of issues here and there, and I want to fix this. How do I fix this? All right, this is a good approach if definitely you understand all from the theory. But then if he had an understanding that the role of a scrum master is not to facilitate, is not only to facilitate even and remove impediment, it comes with a different thinking. Now, what's the different thinking we want to create here? The different thinking we want to create here is that when you get into any environment, your number one assignment is to ensure that business value is delivered using the Scrum approach. Now, what is the concern of why am I so focusing on delivering business value? Let's assume that you get into a Scrum team and they have been operating like that without a PO. Maybe one of the developer has been the one writing stories, and they have been able to effectively deliver value to their client without any challenge. Now, when you come in and you use the Scrum framework, you realize that there's no PO. You might even realize that they don't do retrospective. You might realize that there are no internal review or demos. And we say, oh no, you guys are not practicing Scrum, so we need to go back on the board, right? And you say, oh, we have to create this event. Now, why that is beautiful, the reason why you're going to face resistance and the reason why you even risk to be termed you don't know what you're doing is because you did not, first of all, evaluate how are you able to deliver business value using this approach. Why am I saying this? Scrum is a compass. It's not something built on a solid rock. It's not planning, daily stand-up, backlog refinement, retrospective, review, and circles again. It's not about trying to solve a conflict between X, Y, and Z, and after that, not nothing else again. Now it's a whole lot of combination for how you can be able to monitor how the business value is being delivered. And which is why when you are actually getting into any Scrum role or if you find yourself in any Scrum interview, one of the questions which you should ask, which is going to create a lot of value, is to ask your interviewer, what is the business value that this team is delivering? And that's going to make them understand that you understand exactly what your role is, right? And that is also why this is a question that you never miss in an interview. Can you tell me about your last project? Now, tell me about your last project doesn't mean that say, oh, I was facilitating an event and helping the team using Scrum and helping the team remove impediment. That doesn't tell us anything. We want to know I work with XYZ company and we were building a product that helped acquire XYZ for their customer. And I came in to support the delivery of that value, of that business value using the Scrum framework and in my effort. Okay, now we're starting understanding now why the role of a Scrum Master is to help deliver business value using the Scrum approach, which if you say that, everyone understand that you understand exactly what you're saying, compared to you're saying, oh, as a Scrum Master, I facilitate event, I remove impediment. This is becoming more like a song, right? To almost people who are interviewing. Okay, for those who kind of interviewed 3 4 years back, Scrum was not so much that strong, and there were no so many learning opportunity, community of practice, and widely available information as we have today. So people could just accept that as an answer. But as we go deeper and Scrum is evolving, that story doesn't longer serve, right? Which is why the role of a Scrum Master today is completely a bit more vast. And which is also why when you look at the current update in Save 6.0, that says Scrum Masters slash team coaches. Now, if you understand what a team coach does or what a coach does, a coach, the role of a coach is to evaluate without dismissing what is there. It's not to point error. Now you evaluate without dismissing what is there, which means that your role as a Scrum Master, which also ties with the question, tell me if you get into a company within the next 30 days, what is going to be your focus, right? Now they want to understand if you understand the role of a Scrum Master. That question is not just ask for asking sake. Now, this is where you come in to say the role of a coach is first of all to do what? To evaluate, observe what is there, ask question, listen, watch, and then you gather information based on what the team is doing in regard to your business value, in regard to how they are being able to communicate or deliver value to the customer using the approach they are using. Then you'll be able to optimize. You'll be able now to optimize what they have available. The core reason for resistance within a Scrum team, why you're going to have many team member pushback or many people push back to say, oh no, Scrum doesn't work for us. We don't see a reason why we should come to daily stand up every day. Or we're not a typical Scrum team. We don't do Scrum by the book. Is because you appear as someone that want to get them engaged in an event. You don't appear as someone who want to help them engage in adding value. Now, let's look at this scenario, right? Let's say that you come to me and you come to me and say, hello, Francis, I have a meeting tomorrow about how to facilitate backlog refinement, and I want you to attend, right? And you say, okay, look, it's a very important meeting. You know, backlog refinement is something very important within the PI setting, within the safe setting. And, you know, it's very important to learn this. Good. What you've done is that you have established what the value of a PI. But what you're missing is that I probably would not really need a backlog facilitation event and how it facilitate that, because that's not definitely going to help me at the level where I am right now in on completing my job. So you realize, although I talk about Scrum, although I'm interested in Scrum, uh, attending an event that is going to talk about backlog refinement might not really be my interest. Why? Because that is not what I'm pushing now. Right. Now, let's say that you come to me with that same approach, right? And you say, okay, hey Francis, I do understand that you coach a lot of Scrum team. And you know, one of the value of implementing or effectively working as a coach is understanding what happens at the team level, which is why I think that this event we're hosting tomorrow, facilitating backlog refinement effectively, is going to help you deliver so much value to your teams. Now, this is the same information. You use the first approach, tell me about the importance of the event. I'm not interested. I don't even see my interest there. You come in with the same approach and then you start by acknowledging what I am in and how this can help me deliver value. What happened? I am game. Why am I game? The same information. So the role of a scrum master is not to facilitate event and remove impediment only. That comes as a support for you to implement the delivery of business value. All right. And when you move now to a safe environment, which is a scale agile environment, it becomes a bit complicated because you are not just working only at the team level. You now need to collaborate with other teams members. For those who are working in a safe environment, you have an average from 5 to somewhere about 14 teams some of the times, and you have a lot of collaboration to deal with them. So, in this case, your role as a Scrum Master within the safe environment is to help the team deliver value, but apart from delivering value, in alignment to the art. What's the art? The Agile release train. And what does the art do? The art, Agile release train deliver what? Value stream. And what is a value stream? Value stream simply means a collection of resources, a collection of ideas, a collection of tools that can help us to deliver something to a client. So you realize that now this is a different of anger, and why sometimes that also going to help you understand the difference between being a scrum master, being a safe scrum master, right? When you look at the role of a scrum master to help the team deliver business value, and when you look at the role of a scrum master in safe, you understand that when you work with your team, you are contributing to the increment. But the work of your team alone doesn't deliver value until it is added to the work of other team, which is added in an event called a system demo, and integrated and now facilitated by the release train engineer to deliver value at the end of the PI. Right. If this is your first time kind of hearing about SAFe, this might be be a bit more deeper and complicated, right? But I just wanted to kind of show you the difference or what is the key focus. But then what's your key focus? The key focus of Scrum Master, deliver value. Facilitating event should always be a secondary aspect. Right. So tell me how your day to day run as a Scrum Master. Give me an insight of how you've been able to help your team accomplish their goal as a Scrum Master. Don't always lead by, okay, help my team facilitate event and make sure that uh, um, they're done rightly and make sure that the retrospective is scheduled on time and make sure that I resolve every conflict that comes in. This is good. It's a general story everyone can tell. What makes you unique? What makes you unique is that you can say, all right, thank you very much for that question. I'm going to relate this to my last project so that I can be more contextual. In the last project, we were implementing a room release feature for one of our external clients called, let's say, XZ Bank. And the goal was to deliver this project within the phase of 6 months. In understanding the roadmap and understanding the release plan, I work with my team on a day-to-day basis to ensure that we are working in progress in an accordance to meet the targeted business value and the milestones that were set within the project roadmap and within the release plan. So, in order to do this, I ensure that now you realize, ensure that is where you start talking about events and removing impediments. But if you just talk about events and removing impediments, what happened? There's no value that's been catch in there. So this is some of the in-depths which you need to master if you want to separate yourself from the rest of the math, especially in this space of interviewing. And this kind of thinking, if you're already a working Scrum Master, don't look at your team as, oh, let's just have a daily stand up today. Oh, it's a free day. No, you are going to be cheating yourself. Look at, we are delivering value. Now you realize that the day you finish your, is just a daily stand up that you have for that day. There is need to go back to the roadmap and start evaluating what has been accomplished, what are some of the gaps, and what are some of the way I can help to contribute to this. You become an asset to your companies in such a way that you become indispensable. So this is very important for you to note, especially if you want to survive today. And we actually do give more in-depth of this training in our community of practice. If you need more information on how to join that, you can actually join the community of practice. And um, a very important concept, or maybe still very important, this is more of those who are practicing and also for those who are in the field. A big mistake a lot of people do is that they try to go on this journey on their own. Excuse me. And I've even heard from a couple of people that, oh, I hire a personal coach to coach me on my agile journey. uh, a personal coach would not so much help you, except you're already an expert, right? Only expert hire personal coach. If you're not an expert, you don't need a personal coach. If you're not an expert, you don't need someone to go shadow. If you're still in the journey, you need a community of people where you can sit in a table and discuss Scrum and facilitate event and get the result. You need practice. And I talk with a lot of people like, oh, one of my friends is Scrum, so I just go sit and observe what they're doing. Now, watching an action is a completely ball game. Just say, okay, I go to swimming every day, and you come sit down, watch me swim, and watch all the techniques I use in diving, watch the way I do my back row and other stuff, and then you're like, you know what? I'm good. I've been watching Francis swim for the next 90 days, so let me go swim. You're kidding yourself, right? So that's also what happened. If you have not been on that seat where you put yourself and try to say a word and notice that something is coming out, it's more like cheer dancing. You know, a lot of people can also always can dance very good if they're on their seat, right? You can dance very good, but when they get you up, stand on the floor and move it, It's a complete different ball game, right? So if you want to get serious, get into a community of practice. I'm not asking you to join my community of practice. We have an awesome community of practice. Trust me, no one out there beat it, because when we get people to the field, they become the best. That's why we're able to know. But want to do any investment, think about investing in a place where you're not relying on me, right? You only rely on me because I have a structure that can help you. But if you rely on me because I can directly teach you, what happened is that I'll be doing you a disfavor to kind of tell you that, okay, if I teach you 30 days, you can make it. Mm, if you're super smart, you can. But if not, you need just a guardian. Becoming a scrum master is becoming a leader. Leadership is about self discipline. Self discipline is about investing in yourself. For people that are also in the scrum field, my advice before I start taking questions, so if you have your questions, start putting them in. For anyone who's already practicing, get the next level certification. Trust me, and start practicing how you can see that role in a very short period to come. Why? The funnel, right? If you understand how the funnel is, right? The funnel is getting bigger. The funnel is something that collects. The funnel is getting bigger by the day. And just imagine you came in when the funnel was like this. So the funnel could just collect a few people on the front, and at least many people could go down through the other part. Now you're coming back in cycling when the funnel is like this. So before it gets to your turn to actually go through, which means cycle around another job, it's gonna take you ages. But then when you up your game to an ROTE, right, to an agile coach, what happened? You go into another tighter funnel, and it's easy for you to move through, right? Which is also a reason why we started training release train engineers and helping people to move to another level, program level coaching. And for those who are looking forward to become agile coaches, now this is how a release train engineer role can help you become an agile coach. A release train engineer in a safe environment is a coach at the program level, as a scrum master is a coach at the team level. So register engineer coaches the team and also work with portfolio to make sure that everything they need to ensure that every stuff is working at the program level is effective. So you're that middle person that ensure flow between leadership and team level. So if you actually practice as a release engineer for a year, there is no agile coach interview question you will not answer. So it's an easier route for you to get into agile coach position very soon. For those who are already agile coaches, now you want to looking at getting into enterprise coaches, right? So there's no ending to this learning. It's about you getting it. It's about you putting yourself hard. It's about you investing in yourself. This is not hard. You realize for you to get an ROTE certification now, it's almost about $3,000, because they don't just want anyone that's looking for something to just jump in and like try their luck, right? The more you go harder, the more it become. The more you go harder, the more you need to put. And that's why success is not for everybody. So people who are willing to invest, so people who are willing to risk, for people who are willing to, yeah. And if you're that person, you're willing to risk, willing to invest, you can actually reach out and ask about our training program and how they can help you. Trust me, it's not for everybody. For people who are willing to dare. It's a hardcore leadership space. It's hardcore where we tell you the truth, nothing but the truth. We don't pamper you. We give you everything you need to succeed, right? Okay, so let's see. Do we have any questions and answer? Please drop in your questions, and a big shout out to all of those who are joining. Drop your name. Let me see if you're on board. I see David. David joining from Chicago. Hello. I see Farouk from Maryland, and I see um, Scrum Master par excellence. Rodolph himself, and we actually enjoy a very great conversation a couple of weeks back. And you can go back on my live video and watch that conversation with Rodolph. And he's also adding in quite some value in here. Scrum Master don't remove impediment. They assist and foster communication to remove the impediment with the assistance of the team. Yes, that's very important. You direct people to where the answer is. You're not the answer. If you're the answer, you become an SME, right? You become what so technical. You start directing people to buy it your way. Hello, Sandra from South Africa, and hello, Justa, and hello, uh, Talaya Williams from Texas. Hello, where are the cowboys in the house? Hello, Texas. And David, the question, let me see. As a Scrum Master in a safe environment, the team are not actually practicing Scrum fully. The product backlog is not fully refined due to PO not getting requirement on time. How do you handle this scenario? All right, in a safe environment, now the question I'm going to ask, do they actually run PI planning? Because the PI planning is the space where all teams in a safe environment actually uh, gain their work they're going to do. So if they're not running PI planning, and then they definitely not practicing safe, they might call it a different stuff, right? Okay, now the question would be, if the PO is not getting requirements on time and is not able to uh, ensure that the team is refining frequently, what is the best approach? How do you handle this scenario? So one of the easiest way to handle the scenario is that you can up the number of times you have refinement. So if you have refinement, let's say once every 2 weeks, increase it to once every week. So two times within an iteration. And because of that, you'll be able to get in requirements as fast as they come and refine them. And also in our community of practice today, someone also shared that they do refinement two times a week. So in the spring, they're having four different requirements. And that's also because um, the requirements are coming in bit by bit. So they needed to implement that strategy to be able to close the gap. So that's also what you can do. Right. In a long term goal, what you also want to do is to understand why it's impossible to have requirements ahead of time and see how you can help. So it's going to be more on the information you gather. All right. Mr. B Song says that from what you said, would you agree with me that Scrum Master role is now geared more towards delivery? Yeah, the Scrum Master facilitate the delivery. The Scrum Master is not the delivery manager. Now, the delivery manager is the one who actually control what goes out, like actually manages when the team complete work, the release manager actually look at what is the deployment environment, how does it go out, and all of that. But the Scrum Master doesn't go to that extent. The Scrum Master facilitates that the team get their work done and deploy it to the production environment, right? They facilitate and ensure that this work need to go out. So we need to complete it and make sure that it gets to the deployment environment. Now, releases or the final delivery, it's about when we release, and that only happen after the Scrum team have done their work. So that's why you can work as a Scrum Master and you are not going to be part of the delivery team. It's still very possible. All right. So, is it essential to get pre-PI planning before the actual PI? Very important. If your team is not doing pre-PI planning, you're going to find yourself a lot in a mess because that's going to be the first time that you actually are going to come across a lot of the future. Just imagine the first time you come across something, right? Even if it's something that you know. Okay, imagine you normally drive, right? If I have people that when it comes to Texas, they don't want to drive. They drive, but when it comes to Texas, like, oh, Texas is a rough place to drive, right? So that's what happened when you come across something for the first time. But if they actually take some time and live here for maybe 1, 2, 3 weeks or so, that fears get away. So that's why pre-planning is very, very important. All right, this has been a great conversation, and I'm hoping that we've answered all your questions and that has actually clarified what the role of a Scrum Master is and how you should talk about yourself as a Scrum Master. Why am I emphasizing on this? If you don't understand the value that you're creating on the team, uh, the rest of your team might actually make fun of you. I've had people come to me that say, would say that, okay, look, my team don't come to me. They only go to my manager. Nobody's coming to me. What do I need to do for my team to like me? Like, okay, the reason your team doesn't like you is because you don't understand what you're doing. Right? People don't come to you because they like to come to you. People come to you because you demonstrate that aspect of leadership. When you demonstrate the aspect of leadership and people can see that value is what attracts people to you. So if you're that kind of person that all you do is to get in, facilitate an event, and the next time your team members see you is when you're getting back in again, what's your value? Apart from coming to give us work, disappear, and coming to give us work, you're not bringing any value. So the value we expect from you is that demonstrate a level of understanding, which means that you need to, after you facilitate event, you need to link up with your team. You need to go back to the backlog and look at some of the stuff and maybe inform a developer that, oh, I see story XYZ and I see that acceptance criteria are missing. I see that you forgot to add XYZ. And they're like, oh, wow, thank you. Now they're seeing your value. They're seeing you as someone who understands exactly what you need to do. So that's very important. And Alan, that's just a question I'm asking now. How does the Scrum Master spend their time within the day? That's what I'm answering now. You spend time having a valuable conversation with your team. You spend time going through the backlog, looking at are there issues that need to be completed. You spend time studying the product roadmap and seeing how your team is aligning to that. You spend time collaborating with other Scrum Masters and how they learn from it. So those are the things you do. But if you're the one that you facilitate after a sprint planning, nobody hears about you until maybe the next day when there's another event. And after that, you go silent until when someone asks a question on your team chat before you can respond. Then you're not adding value, right? But if you come in and let's say you meet with me for the first day and you ask me about my work, ask me about the specific area I'm focusing on, and also kind of ask me more on how I contribute to the team, and then emphasize on the fact that, oh, look, what you do is super, super important, and I want to see how I can help you really push across these. Then what is going to happen is that what you have created an opportunity for that person to actually respect you and know that, oh, this person understand exactly what they're doing and they can respect you from there. Okay, it was, oh, it's always a great time to come here and share. And trust me, as many Saturdays as possible, and I have the time, I'm always going to come here to share. And when there's also an opportunity to invite someone to come with me, we are always going to do that. But then, uh, thank you for joining. Keep your questions coming. Even if you did not ask them on this group, you can still ask them later on. For those that need help or need coaching, you can reach out to me. If you look at the screen, the number is kind of just going through a bit more faster. If you pay attention to that, you will definitely get that. Don't call, just send me a text message and I'm going to respond to that. All right, and I'll respond to it. And when you send me a message, one thing I encourage is be very specific with what you want. Don't send a message and say, "Hello, Francis, how are you doing today?" All right, I might respond to that after 2 days. Why? Because we prioritize the work that we're going to do based on value. But if you come and say, "Okay, look, Francis, I have XYZ question. Do you have an answer?" You get a direct answer. We respond to communication that create value, right? And someone will say, "Come and write hello," and then come tomorrow and it's like, oh, I've been writing you and you have not responding. What exactly do you say? And this is not just to me. It's about training how to be a leader. Leaders don't have time. If you have a lot of time, it means there's a lot you're not doing. Trust me. It means there's a lot you're not doing. So it's not that just get busy and pretend that you're busy. Actually get yourself to work. Read books that are going to help you. Dig into deeper stuff. If you have some time, create knowledge, come out and share to the other people. Get them engaged. Get yourself in a learning space. The reason why I keep on improving and keep on learning is because I've put myself out to share information to you. So I need to be current in order to share, right? If I'm not current, I will not be able to share anything. So you put around activities around you that pushes you to always be current. If not, if you're the person who's always willing to collect, you realize that you're always going to struggle to break through every stuff because you're not pushing yourself to be that only person standing. Okay, do have a great weekend, and I'll see you in the next video. Uh, the next video, yes. Also, if you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, it's called the Safe Scrum Chat Room. Also, check it out. Um, Mondays, I'm doing leadership videos now. Mondays, I'm doing videos for agile coaching. So if you're looking forward to up your game, you want to check out every Monday of doing videos and answering questions on what to expect in an agile coach interview, what to expect in a release train interview. This Monday, the video I'm going to be dropping this Monday is going to be um, how, an example of an impairment that you can resolve as an agile coach. And in the other upper Monday, I'm going to be talking about a day, um, a day in the life of a release train engineer, right? So for the next 2 weeks, I already plan out what I need to give out. Super important. Leaders plan ahead of time. They don't do things at the nick of time. All right. Happy Saturday and see everybody around.